Good morning, or, well, good afternoon, depending on when you're tuning in. It is Sunday, February 1st, 2026. I really hope you have a strong cup of coffee in hand. I am currently on my third, mostly because I tried to read the entire internet this morning, and I think my brain short-circuited. I was sitting there trying to organize my notes for today, and I honestly felt like I was drowning in headlines. I actually knocked my espresso over, thankfully missed the laptop, hit the notebook, because I was just, physically reacting to the sheer volume of news this week.
Yeah.
From box office numbers that don't even seem mathematically possible to, I don't know, hospital moms. It feels like the Indian entertainment industry just drank 5 energy drinks and decided to sprint a marathon.
It is certainly a high decibel week. Good morning to you and to our listeners.
Yeah.
I am sticking to tea, and my notebooks are dry, thankfully. But I do understand the feeling of overwhelm. It's chaotic out there. However, you know my philosophy on this.
Oh, I know. Find signal in the noise. I have it tattooed on my brain at this point.
Well, it's a cliche because it is true. If you stop doom scrolling and actually look at the patterns beneath all the headlines, this wasn't just a loud week. It was a diagnostic week. We're seeing very specific trends crystallizing. We're seeing a story about what people are actually willing to pay for in a theater versus what they just argue about on Twitter. We are seeing the absolute triumph of the franchise model, a really painful struggle between visual art and storytelling mechanics. And then perhaps the most interesting layer, the way the private lives of stars are just colliding with their public images.
Colliding is the right word. It felt like a car crash in slow motion at times.
Yeah.
And that is our mission for this deep dive. We are calling this Headlines to Heartbeats. We want to strip away the IndiaRevue breaking news banners and look at the machinery. We need to talk about the movies, obviously, but I really want to get into the business of the movies and the psychology of the people making them.
Precisely. We have a heavy stack of papers here. We have the box office anomaly that is Border 2. We have the return of Rani Mukherjee in Mardani 3.
And we have to talk about streaming. Dhurandhar is apparently the only thing anyone is watching, but it's also the only thing people are fighting about. There's a massive shadow of controversy there that we really need to unpack.
We will also get into the art versus execution debate. We have Maya Sabha and Dal, two films that sort of serve as cautionary tales about putting style over substance. And we have a very sobering reality check from Anurag Kashyap about the state of the industry.
And then on the flip side, we have the human stuff. Ram Charan's twins, Alia writing letters that may or may not be PR masterstrokes, and Hrithik Roshan eating. Well, we'll get to his diet. It made me feel better about my dinner choices, I'll tell you that.
It was surprisingly grounded. But we have a lot of ground to cover before we get to the rotis. Shall we start with the numbers?
Let's do the heavy hitters, the theatrical juggernaut, Border 2. I was looking at the trade reports this morning, and I literally had to refresh the page. This isn't just a hit. This feels like 2023 all over again.
It is a massive statistical outlier. We are looking at the context of, day 10 and day 11. The film has crossed RE's 275 crore in India. Now, hitting 275 is impressive, but in the modern era of inflated ticket prices, we see big numbers often. What you need to look at is the curve, the decay rate, or in this case, the lack of one. Usually, gravity applies to cinema. You have a massive opening weekend, and then by the second Monday, you drop 50, 60%. By the second weekend, you're just hoping to hold steady. Border 2 didn't just hold, it bounced.
It bounced? What do you mean it bounced?
It showed a solid 60% growth on its second Saturday compared to the weekdays prior. That is the metric that really matters.
Wait, walk me through that. 60% growth on a second Saturday. That implies that people weren't just rushing to see it because of the hype on day one. That implies repeat viewing or a new audience entirely.
It implies both. When you see a jump that high late in the run, it means the word of mouth is permeated outside the core fan base. The day one fans saw it already. The 60% jump is the casual audience, the families, the people who waited to hear if it was actually good. It proves that the distribution strategy worked, and the content is resonating on a mass level. It's not front-loaded.
It's got legs.
It has marathon legs, and we have to credit the casting alchemy here.
That's what I wanted to bring up. It feels like they built this cast in a laboratory designed to capture every single rupee in the country. You have Sunny Deol. That's your anchor, right? That's the nostalgia. That's the original Border audience from 1997.
Correct. That secures the older demographic and the single-screen audiences in the indie heartland.
But then you throw in Varun Dhawan. You throw in Diljit Dosanjh, who is practically a global icon right now, and Ahan Shetty. It feels like they checked every single box. Gen Z, millennials, music fans, action fans.
It is a quadrant hit. Anurag Singh, the director, understood that you cannot survive on nostalgia alone. If it was just Sunny Deol, it might have opened big and then faded. By bringing in Diljit and Varun, you bridge the generational gap. I saw a report that noted teenagers were cheering for Diljit while their parents were cheering for Sunny. That is a rare unification in the feud.
It's the Avengers strategy applied to Indian war films. Assemble the demographics.
In a way, yes. And it proves that the theatrical experience is not dead, provided you offer a spectacle that feels like a communal event. Border 2 isn't a movie you watch on your phone, it's a movie you watch with a crowd to hear the cheers.
Speaking of watching things on your phone or your TV, while the theaters are shaking with explosions, Netflix is having its own little explosion. Durandar.
The streaming sensation of the week, for sure.
I read the press release. It topped the charts in India within 24 hours. One day. Aditya must be popping champagne.
He certainly should be. Getting to #1 is the metric for streaming. And the initial critical reception has been generally favorable. The phrase I keep saying is engaging storyline.
Which sounds like a backhanded compliment, but on Netflix, engaging is gold. It means you didn't click away.
Exactly. It means retention. Critics are praising the performances and the narrative hook. It's managing that difficult balance of being a mass entertainer but having enough narrative density to feel like a serious film. Although, and we see this a lot lately, there were some complaints about pacing.
Pacing seems to be the chronic illness of modern filmmaking, doesn't it? Everything is either 20 minutes too long or feels rushed. But I want to zoom in on one specific aspect of Durandar that really caught my ear, the music.
The score and the soundtrack.
Specifically the song Sharad. We dug up a quote from the composer, Shashwat Sakhdev. He said this track came from a very personal place. He mentioned creating it under immense pressure, but then he said something that made me pause. He said the song challenges social norms regarding a woman's expression of desire.
That is a fascinating statement for a film that is, ostensibly an action thriller. Usually in this genre, the music is functional. It's either patriotic anthems or a generic romantic ballad to give the audience a break. For a composer to explicitly state that he is using a track to subvert norms about female desire, that suggests a level of thoughtfulness in the texture of the film that maybe the trailer didn't convey.
Right. It stops being just background noise and starts being a character beat. It gives the female characters agency through the soundscape. I thought that was a really cool detail.
It is, but we cannot just talk about the music and the charts. We have to address the elephant in the room.
The very loud, very angry elephant.
There is a significant controversy shadowing this success. And I want to be very precise here because we aren't here to take sides, but we have to analyze the event of the controversy itself.
Right. This isn't just Reddit comments. This is coming from inside the house.
Correct. Shazai Iqbal, the director of the Dak to Appear, a colleague in the industry, posted a note on social media. She didn't name Durandar explicitly, but in the context of the release window, the implication was clear to everyone in the trade.
And she didn't mince words at all.
No, she used the word sinister. She accused the film of having troubling intent and suggested that inciting hate and violence was in its DNA.
Sinister.
Yeah.
That is a heavy word. I mean, usually directors critique each other on craft. Oh, the lighting was bad or the script was weak. To call a film sinister, that's a moral accusation.
It is an ideological accusation. And she went further, linking it to the teaser for The Careless Story 2.
Yeah.
She is essentially categorizing Durandar not as entertainment, but as propaganda.
So why does this matter? I mean, people criticize movies all the time.
It matters because of who is saying it. In Bollywood, there is usually a code of silence among directors. You praise each other publicly, or you say nothing at all. For a working director to come out and essentially label a massive hit film as dangerous, that shows a fracture in the industry. It shows that the polarization we see in politics is now splitting the creative community right down the middle.
So you have one side of the industry celebrating the box office and the engagement, and the other side viewing the content as morally reprehensible.
Exactly. And the audience is caught in the middle, or perhaps the audience doesn't care. The film is #1. It suggests that the general public is looking for entertainment, while the creators are fighting a battle over the soul of the stories being told.
That is a tension that is definitely not going away anytime soon. But let's pivot to a franchise that seems to have figured out its identity without causing a civil war. The return of the cop universe queen.
Rani Mukherjee. Mardani 3.
I have to say, there is something incredibly comforting about Rani Mukherjee in a cop uniform. In a world where everything is chaotic and shifting, seeing her stare down a criminal just feels correct.
It is a franchise built on trust. And the reviews reflect that. The consensus is overwhelming. The phrase commanding presence appears in almost every review I read. Nandini Ramnath from Scroll.in, who is not an easy critic to please, said it simply gets the job done.
Gets the job done. It sounds utilitarian, but for an action movie, that's high praise. It means no bloat, no nonsense.
It means it delivers on the promise of the ticket, and financially, it's proving that. If you compare it to Ma, the Kajol star from a while back, Mardhanani 3 is showing significantly stronger performance on day 3. It is beating the last big female-led film benchmarks.
But it's not just Ronnie, is it? I feel like we're seeing a trend where the villain, or the antagonist, is getting just as much shine.
You're talking about Malika Prasad.
Yes. Lakshmi Debroy from First Post gave the film 4 out of 5 stars, which is huge, and she spent a good chunk of her review praising Malika Prasad's performance as Amma.
The Amma character is key here. The reviews describe her as terrifying but touching. And that duality is fascinating. Is she a monster? Is she a victim of circumstances? Is she a mother figure gone wrong?
That complexity is what makes it work, I think. I was comparing it in my head to Shelter, the new Jason Statham movie that dropped recently.
Lean actioner.
Lean is polite, it's anorexic on plot.
Well, Shelter is a great counterpoint. Statham does what Statham does. He punches people. But the reviews for Shelter are mixed because it lacks that emotional anchor. It's action for the sake of kinetics. Mardani 3 works because the action is in service of an emotional story, this conflict with Amma.
So the lesson here is, we like the punches, but we need to care about the face being punched.
Or we need to understand the pain of the person throwing the punch. Emotional resonance has a higher ROI than choreography.
I love that. Emotional resonance has a higher ROI. I'm putting that on a t-shirt. But sadly, not everyone is getting that ROI. We have to talk about the films that tried to be art and kind of tripped over their own shoelaces.
The art house struggles, yes. We need to look at Maya Saba and Dal Dal.
Okay, I tried to read the plot summary for Maya Saba 3 times. I still don't know what happened. The reviews say it looks beautiful, though.
That is the tragedy of it. The consensus is atmospheric visuals trump a convoluted tale. You have incredible cinematography, production design that transports you, but the script leaves you stranded.
It's the classic style over substance.
I'd call it mood over mechanics. And then Dal Dal is in a similar boat. The reviews call it a film stuck between ambition and execution.
Oof, that hurts. Noble failures.
Scroll.in pointed out that Dal Dal tackles bold themes and looks rich, but the pacing drags and the performances are inconsistent. And here is the brutal truth. In this market, you cannot afford to be boring. You can be controversial, you can be loud, but you cannot be confusing or slow. Mardani works because it is tight. Maya Saba fails because it demands patience that the audience doesn't have right now.
This leads us directly to the most depressing but important quote of the week. Anurag Kashyap was at the Bangalore International Film Festival, BIFEs, and he said something that made my stomach drop.
It was a cold shower for cinephiles. He said, and I'm quoting, "Gangs of Wasipur or Mukkabaz would not have been made today."
Just think about that. Gangs of Wasipur. That film defined a decade. It changed how we talk, how we meme, how we think about crime dramas. And the creator himself is saying, I couldn't get that greenlit in 2026.
He is identifying a systemic shift towards extreme risk aversion. Studios want IPs. They want franchises like Border or Mardani. They want safe returns. They are terrified of the political complexity, the violence, and the raw nature of a Wasipur.
It's fear. It's fear of the censor board, fear of the box office, fear of the Twitter mobs.
All of the above. It's the safe bet economy. If you pitch a gritty, sprawling, politically charged gangster epic today, the executives look at the spreadsheet and say no. They'd rather fund a sequel to a comedy or a patriotic action film.
So we are entering an era where we get the products, but we don't get the art that changes the culture.
That is the danger. We might be losing the incubator for the next generation of genius. However, I don't want to be entirely doom and gloom.
Please, give me a crumb of hope.
Kashyap did mention Kennedy, his film that premiered at Cannes way back in 2023.
The one that's been in limbo forever.
Yes. It is finally landing on OTT in India. It took years. It was a struggle, but it is happening.
So the lesson is perseverance.
The lesson is that good work can eventually find its audience, even if the traditional theatrical doors are closing. The pipeline is clogged, but it's not completely sealed.
I'll take it. It's a small win, but it's a win.
Okay,
let's zoom out from the movies and look at the machine itself, the industry mechanics. We had a really interesting peek behind the curtain from Rakul Preet Singh this week.
Yes, she was on a podcast, ironically, and she gave a very candid breakdown of the difference between Bollywood and the South.
She works in both, so she's like a dual citizen. She has perspective.
Exactly, and she talked about the PR games.
Oh, I love Inside Baseball. What did she say?
She essentially highlighted that Bollywood operates on a heavy image curation model. The narratives are spun, stories are planted, the paparazzi culture in Mumbai is part of the PR machinery.
Right. Oh, I just happened to be walking out of this gym looking perfect.
Yeah.
That whole thing.
Exactly, whereas she contrasted that with the Telugu industry. Working with giants like Allu Arjun or Mahesh Babu, the dynamic there isn't about spin in the gossip columns, it's about massive, almost religious fan worship.
It's the difference between being an influencer and being a deity.
That is a very, very good way to put it. In Mumbai, you hire a PR firm to keep you relevant. In Hyderabad, your relevance is dictated by the sheer volume of people screaming your name at an audio launch. It's two different operating systems, Android versus iOS.
And Rakul is just trying to write apps for both.
And doing quite well at it. But it reminds us that Indian cinema isn't one monolith. It's these massive, distinct tectonic plates rubbing against each other.
Speaking of tectonic plates moving,
Yeah.
the regional industries never sleep.
No, they don't. While we focus on Border 2, Dheeraj Mogalini is quietly releasing couple-friendly in the Telugu states.
I saw a poster for Atharati with Vidith Srinivasan. Did you see his role?
I saw the poster, but I have no idea what he's doing. It's complete mystery.
They are keeping it totally under wraps.
Yeah.
And Sharwadan has a rom-com, Nari Nari Naduma Murari, heading straight to OTT.
It just shows the volume. The regional industries are churning out content, making strategic moves to streaming, and keeping the ecosystem alive while the Hindi industry fights over the blockbusters.
Okay, we've done the business, we've done the art, now we have to do the people. The headlines to heartbeats section.
The celebrity life cycle.
It really was the full cycle this week. Birth, daily life, and moving on. Let's start with the happy news. Ram Charan.
Huge congratulations. He and Upasana are now a family of 5. They were blessed with twins.
That is so beautiful. But you know what I loved? In the coverage, there was a specific discussion about Upasana freezing her eggs in her late 20s.
That is a very significant detail to include in the narrative.
Right. Usually these star announcements are just, we are blessed, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But to openly talk about fertility planning.
It normalizes a conversation that is often taboo or kept private. For a high-profile traditional couple to say, we plan this, we use technology, we prioritize our timelines, that is empowering. It shows that you can have the superstardom and the family, but it takes planning.
It's modern. I loved it.
Yeah.
But then we saw the video of them at the hospital, and my blood pressure spiked.
The mob.
The mob. Ram Charan is walking into the hospital to see his wife and newborn twins, and it looked like a riot.
It highlights the dark side of that deity status we just talked about. The fans feel such ownership over him that they forget he is a father in a very vulnerable moment.
They were shoving cameras in his face.
Yeah.
At a hospital. It was insane.
It is a terrifying lack of boundaries. But interestingly, the internet reaction was swift. Fans were slamming the crowd online. There seems to be a growing awareness that privacy is a right, even for stars.
Well, I hope that awareness grows faster, because that video was anxiety-inducing. Okay, from anxiety to sweetness, calculated sweetness. Let's talk about Alia Bhatt.
The letter to her younger self.
She wrote this emotional letter, very heartfelt, and in it she refers to Ranbir Kapoor as the best boy in the world.
And calls her daughter Raha a little lawyer, which is adorable.
Best boy in the world.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm a romantic. I want to believe she just loves her husband. But you have a cynical look on your face.
I am not cynical, I am analytical. We have to look at the context.
The context being?
The context being that Ranbir Kapoor is confirmed to play Lord Ram in the upcoming Ramayana epic.
Ah.
Think about the requirements of that role, culturally, historically. Lord Ram is the embodiment of virtue, the Maryada Purushottam. You cannot have a bad boy image and play Lord Ram.
So you think Ali calling him the best boy is a bit of character building?
I think it is a very happy coincidence that reinforces the exact brand image he needs right now. It serves as a character witness. Look, he is a good man, a pure soul, the best boy. It aligns perfectly with the divine role he is stepping into.
You think it's part of the method acting for the whole family?
I think in a superstar marriage, the personal and the professional are never fully separate. Whether she meant it purely romantically or not, it functions as excellent PR.
The best boy plays Lord Ram. Yeah, I see it. The billboard writes itself. But you know what isn't PR? Or at least I hope it isn't. The roti.
Krithik Roshan's diet.
This made my week. Hrithik Roshan, the Greek god, the man whose abs have abs. He revealed his post-workout meal, and I was expecting, I don't know, unicorn tears and imported kale.
And instead,
Indian mishmash, that's what he called it. Jowar rotis, veggies, egg whites. He specifically said he ditched the protein shakes.
it is surprisingly grounded, very relatable.
It validated me so much. I was eating roti while reading it, and I was like, I am basically Hrithik Roshan.
Well, let's be real. He probably has a world-class chef making that jowar roti to precise caloric specifications. But the message is positive. It challenges the fitness industry narrative that you need expensive supplements and powders to look good. He's saying traditional food works.
It's relatable. In a week of high-stakes box office wars, Hrithik eating veggies felt nice, just like Akshay Khanna.
The viral video.
Did you see it? Him in college.
Yes, dancing to Chaya Chaya. It was fantastic.
It was so pure. He wasn't Akshay Khanna, the serious actor yet. He was just a kid loving a Shah Rukh song.
It is a blast of nostalgia. It reminds us that before they were legends, they were just fans. They were just part of the audience.
And then the ultimate routine, the one thing that never changes. Amitabh Bachchan.
The Sunday wave.
He stepped out. He waved. The crowds cheered.
He has done it for decades.
Yeah.
In a week where we had riots at hospitals and box office explosions, there's something stabilizing about Amitabh Bachchan simply doing his routine. It's the heartbeat of Bollywood.
It really is. But not everyone stays on the balcony forever.
We have to end the segment on a slightly somber note.
The topic of departure.
There are rumors, and again, just rumors, about Arijit Singh retiring.
It's unclear if he's actually stepping back, but the conversation it triggered is very real. Sanjay Mishra, who was promoting VOD 2, reacted to it.
Yeah.
And he said 3 words that stuck with me.
It becomes lonely.
It becomes lonely. That is a profound admission. We look at the money, the fame, the best boy letters.
Yeah.
But Mishra is reminding us of the isolation, the human cost.
And then there was that mystery story, the top model.
Yes. The story of the model who started at 12, conquered the runway, and then just left. Quietly. No press conference, no announcement.
Just walked away.
It serves as a counter-narrative to Border 2. Everyone is fighting to get to the top to get the 275 crore opening, but sometimes the bravest move is to realize the toll is too high and just exit the stage.
Silence can be a powerful choice, too.
Indeed. Yeah.
So, what a week. My coffee is gone, and my head is spinning a little less thanks to you. Let's try to summarize the signal we found in all that noise.
Okay. We have Border 2 proving that if you build the perfect cast, the audience will come back, and back again.
We have Dhurandhar proving that streaming is massive, but it's also becoming a battleground for political ideology within the industry itself.
We have the industry fighting between safe bets and risky art, with Anurag Kashyap sounding the alarm.
And we have the human element, the joy of twins, the comfort of roti, and the loneliness of the spotlight.
It's a messy, loud, beautiful ecosystem.
It is. But I want to leave our listeners with a question, a provocation, if you will.
Go for it.
We talked about Anurag Kashyap saying his best work couldn't be made today. We talked about Dhurandhar sparking debate. We talked about Border 2 making safe, nostalgic money. Are we entering an era where safe cinema is the only thing that survives? Are we trading risk for revenue? And if we are, what kind of stories will we be talking about this time next year? Will there be any surprises left?
That is the question. Are we just going to be talking about Border 3 and Mardani 4? Something to mull over.
From headlines to heartbeats, you've been listening to Bollywood Dive In by IndiaRevue.com. Catch you where the stories are.